and raccoons and cats and people and animals or whatever, and putting them into situations where they wouldn't normally be, but somehow it makes sense in the make-believe world. Hi, my name is Mark Brewer, and I'm a character illustrator. I use watercolor and ink primarily, and I like to teach art. I like giving the information that I have. It's really rewarding hearing some students say, oh, that's how that works. Learning from a professional is definitely a quicker way to get there, and I'd love to help you. So in this class, we're going to figure out how to take a reference photo of a kangaroo and what areas to exaggerate. We're going to go over the basics of inking, such as line variation, holding the pen, among other things. This gives our drawings style, and that's something worth practicing. After that, we're going to be adding color, like I said, using 3 colors, so you have a very sound color composition. And finally, we're going to end the piece by understanding where to add details. Sometimes your drawing might feel flat because it's just color and needs a little bit of more layers, maybe some color pencil work in there, maybe some highlights with oil pastels or a gel pen. So lots of different tricks, and I can show you how to do that. So we're going to use some etcher brushes and some cool ink pens. I don't know if you have any waterproof pens, but when we're using watercolor, we always use waterproof. So grab your supplies, and I hope you join me, and hope to see you soon. Cheers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Etcher Studio class. We are here with Mark Brewer, who's going to be teaching you how to draw a really fun kangaroo. And my name is Kitty. I will be your host tonight. And if you direct your attention to the chat, you'll find a PDF link that will give you all of the information that you need for tonight's class, including materials, reference photos, everything else is right there. And if you have questions for Mark, please put them in the chat in all capital letters so that I can see them better. If the question is relevant to what he's doing at the moment, I will ask then. If not, I'll hold off some of those questions until the end when we do our question and answer session. And do stick around until the end because we're doing a giveaway for one of our paper blocks. And just so you know, tonight we are streaming this class for free, but it'll be taken down, and then you can always access the recording for $7, and the link is in the chat, and you can purchase it right away. So I'll be putting that link in there in a moment. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Mark, who's going to tell us more about what we're going to do today.
Hello, my name is Mark Brewer. I'm a character illustrator, and today we're going to walk through the process of how to draw this kangaroo with a background that has obviously, been leveled by fires, and we're talking about the kangaroos, of course, in Australia. So, Kitty, when you're ready to roll it, let's take this step by step. And anybody have any questions? Like Kitty said, please, ask away, and we'll pause if we need to. So, when you're ready, Kitty.
All right, here we go.
These are some of the supplies. Some of the tools I used. You'll see everything from a paintbrush to some of those etcher watercolor brushes. They're nice brushes, by the way. Those etcher brushes, they work real well. There's some reference photos that I'm going to use, and basically I'm going to just block this out. I draw on marker paper. I just like the feeling of it. That's all. You could draw on tracing paper or whatever you find that you like to draw on. I'm drawing in a red pencil because then I can go over and draw it, correct it in green or graphite, and that just makes it a little bit easier. So you'll see how I've taken that image and just kind of come up with 3, like a circle, an oval for the head, a circle for the body, and these 2 parallel lines joining them. From if you think about it, it's pretty much like it looks pretty much like the drawing, like the photograph. I'm just I'm just embellishing, you know, those ears are pretty big. I think I could have made those ears bigger. Their hands are small, so I did that. We don't make them, I don't want to make them too long. I could have made them longer. They're funny small. And I didn't know what a fire extinguisher looks like. I mean, I do know what it looks like, but I learned a long, long time ago, don't fake it. Because when you draw, you're going to add your own how you see something anyway. So that's why when you want to when you use a reference photo, use a reference photo, not like a reference cartoon or a reference illustration or drawing. Use an actual photo, and then from there you can embellish and draw what you see. Maybe you see that fire extinguisher much larger. Maybe you see it thinner. Those eyes, you notice how those eyes absolutely do not look like what you see in the picture. That's something that you find along the way from drawing, and that's not mine. I'm sure I have taken that over the years from a number of different artists, from Jill Silverstein to Ronald Searle and a plethora of other illustrators. And you just kind of, you know, when things interest you, you might make your eyes, you know, a certain way, and then after a while you're doing it different than that person does, and it's sort of a variation of theirs and it becomes yours. And at this point I think that there's a very little bit of what I see is original. And I think, well, actually you could say we're each very individual. We just, you know, what's my combination is maybe three or four different illustrators since I was a kid. So you have kind of decide what you are. And you know, so when I'm done with an illustration like this, so you kind of see how I've tightened it up, I put graphite pencil on the back, and now I'm going to trace over it. And after I get finished tracing, you'll see how what's happening here is the graphite is going to leave an impression on the back side of this watercolor paper. So, you know, you're pressing down kind of hard. I'm not, you notice how I'm not like very exact, because I just want the main subject. You know, just I'll correct it with ink. It helps kind of keep things spontaneous. You know, you're doing, if a long time ago I was pretty exact about where I put my lines, and maybe that comes from inking comic books for Archie, or inking some of the things that I've done over the years, some of the licensed stuff. But I find that I don't do that anymore. Just kind of get the basics down, and then you can correct and embellish and add things and subtract things with your ink pen, and you end up with, I don't know if you can see that, but you'll end up with an image that has a little more spontaneity to it. So here is my board, and you'll notice that I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to clean some things up, maybe just remind myself here that I don't want the eyes so big. You know, maybe I want these ears just a little bit bigger than what I put on the sketch that you saw. So you see, that's kind of, so the idea here is, again, just I'm sort of think of it like I'm editing my own drawing here, saying, yeah, I want to go this way. And I might make that body bigger right here. I might make it smaller, but you have all the opportunity to do that. If you remember from the sketch where it was red pencil, then you can put a blue pencil or just a darker color on that. And then you can edit it again once you have it with a very light pencil like this. See? And I'm reminding myself when you see those kind of loops that I'm drawing on the head there and down there, you know, just kind of reminding myself, bounce the pen. I don't know if I'm going to follow those exactly when I go to ink, but so you'll see just kind of correcting some things. Not correcting so much, just, that's not the right word. It's not correcting so much as it just making some changes, feeling you know, feeling my way through this drawing. That pencil that I'm using is is a Pentel, if anybody's interested. It's called a twist erase. Number 7. I like to tell people that when I was younger and drawing for all the publications that I drew for 20 some years, I had these fancy pencils because, I was a fancy artist. And then as you get older, you realize that, sometimes all you need is just a pencil like this, so that, you can just, you don't have to sharpen, you can click it, and it's a lot easier. So don't go too crazy buying, $20, $30 pencils. These pencils, I don't know, are maybe $1 each, $1.25 each, and they work great. You can get them in all different colors and different color leads and different colors. So yeah, I'm just cleaning some things up here. That pouch, Yeah. So got the feet here, I don't know if yeah, it's a nice flower I put right there. Just I thought that was kind of cool, just to create a little bit of hope, maybe in this, in the behind the scenes, this sort of disaster that's taking place back there. I can't ever remember drawing fire extinguishers. Just when you think you've drawn everything, it's like, oh, this may be a first for me. And I don't know, those fire extinguisher tops look a little bit like hammers, but claw hammers. but hey, this is how I see it. So I don't know what yours will look like, but this is what mine looks like. Just to remind myself, there's a little bit of a line back there, maybe not too far from the flowers. Stop it there. It's me thinking when I do stuff like that, and I'm like actually not putting the pencil. I'm thinking I'm probably done. There's no point in putting, too much in here. Oh yeah, that's important. So sometimes I think that for demonstration purposes, I really cleaned this up a lot so you could see. But I think because it's easy to understand this, but by me saying this, I think you can understand how sometimes I might not. I just might add a pen and start inking with an ink pen and not do so much cleanup. But I think I wanted you to kind of get the feeling for correcting things. Certainly that's not the background that was on the original sketch. I'm just kind of feeling my way through the whole thing. This is my fountain pen of choice. It's a the pen is I'm cleaning my pen. This is an important thing I made. These are Legos, and you can put your pen in there, and it'll stand up straight. It's part of my childhood there. What are you going to do with these Legos when you're my age? So this works great. So filling my pen with ink, and that's a waterproof ink. If anybody is interested in knowing what kind, it's called Diatramentis, and it's archive ink. And I bet you there'll be a link or something like that where you can find this ink. I order it on Amazon, like I do a lot of products. I try to go to the store and support my local art store as much as I can, but sometimes you can't find the products that you need. So I find this on Amazon. It holds a lot of ink. You can fill that whole pen with ink. So I won't have to do this again. In fact, I probably will do 2 drawings this size before I have to put more ink in my pen. Again, I'm not really tracing these lines. I'm just using them as a guide, following them, making sure to flex that nib. You see how you get some character? I turn the nib over on the other side. It's like, there's a gentleman on YouTube who's really well known. Don't know exactly where he lives. He's very well known for reviewing pens, and he'll talk about the back side of a pen And I think that's really important. If you're a writer, maybe it doesn't make any sense. But if you're an artist using these pens, an illustrator, you like to draw, it's important to be able to use the backside, because the backside gives you a really super thin line. And then this front line, this front way, like this. See, I'm kind of making sure I bend that nib, get some feeling in there. I really like this nib. It's a zebra. It's a zebra G nib, and I know a lot of you know what that is. And you can get a real thin. Yep.
Can you tell us, for people who aren't familiar with fountain pens, can you tell us how thick the point is on the one that you're using right now?
I would say that has the capability. Of course, it doesn't say exactly, but I want to say that it is like, if you look at a micron, it'd be like like a micron 0.1. So really thin. And if you turn it over on the backside, you're gonna get like a 0.05, something really small, which is, it's awesome, because then you have everything from really haired lines to very thick lines. And what you can't see is, by my thumb, there is a plunger, and if I push that plunger, it forces ink out of that nib. And so then when you bear down, you push the plunger, you can get a lot of ink, a huge thick line. So it's like having all sizes of pens in your hand at one time. That's why I absolutely love it.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so here I am, and like, just inking this. I'm gonna push that plunger. I know I am, because I want it to be really thick. Look see that? I don't know if you could see that, but I just pushed it and got a really thick line. And as thick as these lines are, I probably could even get a little bit thicker if I wanted to. But again, I'm recording this. I don't want it to, blob ink all over the place. I'm not afraid of that when I'm not recording this, because I can cover it up, or I'm not, it's not like necessarily a mistake. It's just part of the process. And so, but I'll take a paintbrush in this case, I think, at the end, and we'll make those lines even thicker. But you can see how thin that line gets. Yeah. So you see that bouncing that pen nib there? That's like, it creates character, and you don't have to bounce your pen line, but this is important, because this is where you're going to create your own style. I've seen some really talented artists have lines that are not bouncy. They're just straight. They're clean. They're 0.02 millimeter, the whole thing. That's a style. Everything is the way you do it just is special to you, and that's the most important thing. Is it's very cool, is to think that all of us could put this on paper, same drawing, and it would look different for every one of us. Of course, it's true, we're all unique and we see things different. So are you. So that's the specialness of drawing, making art. One of the things. So